The night was loud with worry. Not the kind you can hear with your ears, but the kind that sits on your chest and makes it hard to breathe. Have you ever felt like your mind was so full that there was no room left for hope? Like every thought was heavy, every memory crowded, and every mistake shouting at once. This is a story about that moment. The moment when life feels too much, when the world feels cold, and when one small act of kindness can quietly change everything. Before we begin, take a second to support this journey. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Story of Pure Kindness, a place where simple stories remind us of what truly matters. The main story begins in a small American town where people waved but rarely stopped. The streets were clean, the houses neat, and the routines predictable. Every morning, Daniel walked the same cracked sidewalk to the bus stop, coffee in one hand, phone in the other, mind racing 1,000 miles ahead of his feet. Daniel was 35 and tired in a way sleep could not fix. He worked long hours at a job that paid the bills but drained his spirit. His inbox never rested. His phone buzzed constantly. Even when he sat still, his mind never did. It replayed old failures, worried about tomorrow, and whispered that he was falling behind in life. One morning, after another sleepless night, Daniel missed his bus. He stood there longer than usual, watching it disappear down the road. For a moment, he felt strangely relieved. With nowhere to rush, he sat on the bench and stared at the ground, feeling the weight of everything he carried inside his head. Across the street was a small park he had passed every day for years but never entered. That morning, without knowing why, he crossed the road and stepped inside. The park was quiet. A few leaves drifted down from tall trees, and the air smelled like grass and early fall. On a bench near the center sat an elderly man feeding crumbs to pigeons. He wore a faded jacket and had eyes that seemed calm, like a lake untouched by wind. When Daniel walked past, the man smiled. "Busy morning?" the man asked gently. Daniel hesitated, then nodded. "Always," he said. "Feels like my mind never shuts off." The man chuckled softly. "That can be the loudest noise of all." Daniel sat on the far end of the bench, not planning to talk, but something about the man's presence felt safe. After a moment, Daniel sighed. "I don't even know why I'm so stressed. I have a job, a place to live. Still feels like I'm drowning." The man brushed crumbs from his hands and turned toward Daniel. "When a cup is full," he said, "you can't pour anything new into it." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" "I mean your mind," the man said. "It's full of worries, regrets, and noise. There's no space left for peace." Daniel laughed bitterly. "So what am I supposed to do? Empty it?" The man smiled wider. "Exactly." Daniel shook his head. "That sounds nice, but real life doesn't work that way." The man stood slowly and looked at the pigeons fluttering away. "Real life works on kindness," he said. "Most people just forget that." Before Daniel could ask more, the man walked away, leaving Daniel alone with his thoughts. The words stayed with him all day. Empty your mind. Make space. Kindness. That evening, Daniel stopped at a grocery store. The lines were long, the lights harsh, and his patience thin. Ahead of him, a young woman struggled to calm a crying child while counting coins at the register. The cashier looked annoyed. People behind Daniel sighed loudly. Daniel felt the familiar rush of frustration rise. His mind started its usual complaints. But then he remembered the park, the calm eyes, the quiet voice. Without thinking too much, Daniel stepped forward. "I've got it," he said, placing his card on the counter. The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Are you sure?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "Yeah, it's okay." She whispered thank you over and over as she left. The line moved on. No one applauded. No music played. But something inside Daniel felt lighter, as if a small space had opened in his chest. Over the next few days, Daniel noticed something strange. When he held doors open, smiled at strangers, or let someone merge in traffic, his mind felt quieter. Not empty, but less crowded. The noise softened. One rainy afternoon, he saw a homeless man sitting near his office building, soaked and shivering. Normally, Daniel would have looked away, telling himself he was too busy or that it wouldn't make a difference. This time, he didn't. He bought a hot meal and a dry blanket. When he handed them over, the man looked up with disbelief and said, "You don't know how much this means." Daniel realized something then. Kindness wasn't just helping others. It was helping himself. Each kind act cleared a little more space in his mind, pushing out fear and replacing it with connection. Weeks passed. Daniel returned to the park often, hoping to see the old man again, but he never did. Still, the lesson stayed. One morning, Daniel noticed a new coworker sitting alone during lunch, staring at her phone with tired eyes. He sat beside her and asked how her day was going. She talked. He listened. For the first time in a long while, Daniel wasn't thinking about his own problems. His mind was fully present. That night, as he lay in bed, Daniel realized something else. His life hadn't magically changed. His job was the same. His responsibilities were still there. But he felt different. Lighter. Stronger. Kindness had become a way to empty his mind, not by removing thoughts, but by filling his heart. Months later, Daniel found himself sitting on the same park bench where it all began. A young man walked by, shoulders slumped, eyes tired. "Busy morning?" Daniel asked. The young man looked up, surprised, then nodded. "Feels like my mind never shuts off." Daniel smiled, feeling a calm he never thought he'd have. "I know that feeling," he said. "Let me tell you something." And as Daniel spoke, kindness continued its quiet journey, moving from one heart to another, making space where there was once only noise. So if your mind feels full today, if life feels heavy, remember this. You don't always need answers. Sometimes, you just need to make space. A small act of kindness can do that. For others. And for you. Empty your mind. Fill your heart. And let kindness change your life.